The story begins with Tsuyoshi Mukoda, aka Mukoda, is summoned from Japan to an alternate world with 3 others to become heroes of the Ryasuger kingdom. Unlike the others who have skills in swordsmanship and magic, Mukoda only possesses the online grocery skill that lets him spend money to summon food and online products from Japan. Sensing that the Ryasuger royals are untrustworthy, Mukoda states he is not a hero and may interfere with their work. He convinces them his skill is useless and will not reveal his background and just live a simple life. He then accepts 20 gold coins to quietly disappear. While walking, he notes that the people are getting suspicious of him.
まずい、怪しまれてるぞ。情報収集は着替えてからの方が良さそうだ。
He then goes to buy some clothes to not cause any attention to himself.
さてと、ステータスオープン。おお。
While viewing his status, Mukoda is just at level 1 with his unique skill, of course, it's online grocery. He then calls forth it but nothing appears. When he touches the name of the status window, an online grocery appears in front of him. Mukoda decides to buy a bottle of water. Since he often gets sick, he then adds a snack to his cart and press the buy button. To his surprise, an option of him asking to pay pops up. Mukoda then takes out a silver coin and successfully pays with it. A box then appears beside Mukoda containing the things he bought from his online grocery. Seeing this, Mukoda becomes happy and notes, as long as he has money, he doesn't have to worry going without food, and can also use his online grocery to make more money. Meanwhile, he plans on leaving the kingdom quickly. On his way, Mukoda meets a soap merchant while traveling. He asks him if he puts his luggage in the item box as well. However, the merchant says that the item box is only a 1 in thousands possesses. Mukoda also asks about the appraisal skill. The merchant tells him the appraisal skill is the dream of every merchant and only heroes from another world possess it. The merchant asks Mukoda why is he going to Kiel's. Mukoda says he wants to cross the border to go to the neighboring country. The merchant whispered and tells him that he made a good decision going there, because of the kingdom was on the verge of destruction and the border would be closed soon. When he arrives at his destination, he learns that the stagecoach has stopped servicing customers. He speaks with some locals about the situation. He learns they've stopped the service so people can't flee to neighboring countries. A gentleman tells him if people fled, the army's size would decrease. Another one tells him that the kingdom of Ryasuger plans to wage war against other territories. Mukoda travels to the Adventurers Guild in town to place a request for an escort mission to the kingdom of Venan. He doesn't want to travel alone for fear of being attacked by monsters. The guild cashier tells him it would take days to complete and will cost him 8 gold coins since the stagecoach is suspended. Mukoda gives her the money, and the girl asks a party run by Werner to accept Mukoda's request. Werner tells Mukoda that he'll be happy to accept his request but must consult with his party members. Mukoda promises to provide them with food if they help him. To which they agrees. The next morning, Werner meets up with Mukoda and introduces his comrades Vincent, Rita, Ramon, and Franca. They all share different classes from mages to healers. After traveling a bit, they rest at a nearby tree. Mukoda prepares supper for them and catches Vincent's and Rita's eyes. He used his online grocery skill to purchase a magic stove that would have cost him 50 gold coins. Everyone huddles together at a table to dine on Mukoda's food. They enjoy it and thank Mukoda for his kindness and craftsmanship. They continue traveling and encounter various beasts along the way. Vincent and Werner fight them off and get healed by Franca. They defeat a boar, and Rita skins it for its parts. Werner confirms red boar skins and horns can be sold for a high price. Although the meat can be hit or miss, Mukoda puts some of it in his item box. Mukoda and the crew hold an early feast for the day. He asks them not to observe his cooking process because he can feel embarrassed. In reality, he doesn't want them to discover he's using cheaper ingredients. Despite the cheap ingredients, the crew enjoys his dish and requests seconds. Everyone shares how the food is helping them recover from some ailments like fatigue. Mukoda swiftly opens his status menu to see if he can use the appraisal skill. He runs into a parameter issue and realizes his meal has increased his ally's stamina and magic powers too much. This is because the ingredients he used came from another world. Mukoda worries someone will discover the truth about his antics. The gang continues their journey in the morning as Werner says they'll reach Venin and the border shortly. They rest in the forest, and Mukoda plans to cook the red boar meat. Alone, Mukoda vows to keep the ingredients he uses from online grocery a secret from others. Mukoda finishes the dish, and the others dig in. They're flabbergasted by how great it tastes. Mukoda tells the others that the vegetables he used for the meal are called kabade. Everyone starts freaking out because a giant wolf's standing behind Mukoda. Werner says it's a Fenrir, as it demands them to let it eat the meal. Mukoda gives it a plate of it, and Fenrir eats it. He demands more to our hero's displeasure. Mukoda asks Fenrir if he can give him some time to cook up another plate. Fenrir accepts Mukoda's wishes, and he starts cooking up another plate. We get a montage of Mukoda cooking up more plates for the beast as it demands more. Eventually, Fenrir tells Mukoda he's full and thanks him for the meals. Fenrir tells Mukoda that he'll form a familiar contract with Mukoda as a gift. Although Mukoda doesn't want to accept the offer, Fenrir intimidates him. Eventually, Mukoda walks over to Fenrir and forms the contract. Mukoda grants the Fenrir creature the name Fel. In the morning, Werner and company continue traveling to the border, but they're afraid of what the commoners will say when they see Fel. The problem is that Fenrirs have laid waste to countries before. Werner tells Mukoda that the guards won't take kindly to Mukoda's newfound contract with Fel. Fel promises Mukoda that he'll protect him from danger. The gang decides to camp out somewhere to dine on more of Mukoda's food. Luckily, he stored some red boar meat somewhere. Fel asks Mukoda to cook him that meat, but Mukoda tells him to hunt for meat in the woods. Fel complies and brings back a dead rockbird's corpse. Werner and his comrades state that it's a strong beast with beaks and claws that can fetch a high price. Mukoda asks the others to help him carve the rockbird's parts. Then, he coats and cooks the meat. When complete, he hands the food to the others and makes Fel some food. After eating, the gang heads to the kingdom of Venin's border and arrives there. They get stopped by the kingdom's gatekeepers, who refuse to let them in because of Fel. Fel persuades the gatekeepers that he won't cause them any harm as long as they don't harm his comrades. It appears Fel can communicate with other humans besides Mukoda. The guard lets them through but asks Mukoda to keep Fel under control. After obtaining their guild cards, the gang enters the kingdom of Venin. Mukoda tells Werner he'd like to travel to multiple places because deep down, he wants to explore this universe and make profits with online grocery. Werner says Mukoda should consider joining a merchant or adventurer's guild since it'll aid him on his quest.
迷うのでしたら両方登録なさっては？
でもそれって大丈夫なんですか?
Ultimately, they state that he should wait to make a decision until they reach the town. Marquis Rindle's servant approaches Mukoda and tells him that Marquis wants him to visit his residence. Although his servant tries egging him on to meet the Marquis, Fel steps in and scares him away. Fel tells Werner and the others that no one, besides a dragon, can match him in strength. He says this to calm Mukoda down in case he's worried about going against the Marquis's wishes. Werner and his gang give Mukoda a contract to sign to prove they've completed their mission. Mukoda and Fel share their goodbyes as Mukoda plans to register at the Adventurers and Merchants Guild. He tells Fel they can make money by having him hunt for food and selling the prey's parts for cash. Mukoda and Fel enter the Merchants Guild, where they receive a breakdown of how it works. Guilds have 5 levels based on annual taxes and fees. He tells her he'd like to open up a store or stall, and she gives him an iron rank guild card. He promises to revisit this place to sell some goods. Mukoda and Fel heads near the inn so that Mukoda can cook Fel some food.
よし、皿に移して、あとは仕上げに。
Fel enjoys each of Mukoda's dishes. Each is coated with different sauce toppings. Mukoda makes a meal for himself and enjoys it. In the morning, he revisits the Merchants Guild to sell some items. The lady checks it and tells him to meet with her guild master. The guildmaster tells him that the salt and pepper he tried selling is something the king of Venan would want to get his hands on, delighting Mukoda. He asks Mukoda where he got these from, and Mukoda tells him he found them during his journey, which is a lie. The guildmaster makes him several offers that aren't to Mukoda's liking because of how much it cost him via online grocery. He settles on the master's 17 gold coin offer, though. Mukoda visits the Adventurers Guild next to register, and the counter lady hands him a contract nonchalantly. The woman tells him he'll start off as a G-rank adventurer and can only tackle G and F rank missions. He asks for more info, and she tells him adventurers are ranked from G to SG rank missions must be completed in 1 month, and the guild isn't responsible for the adventurer's death, injury, or loss incurred during a mission. Mukoda visits the quest board and accepts a herb collecting mission. Before he embarks to complete the mission, Mukoda feeds Fel some more food. Mukoda checks Fel's stats and is impressed by how high they are. Fel gets upset with Mukoda because he's choosing his herb gathering mission over making him his delicious food. During his mission, Fel places a protective barrier over Mukoda since he's going hunting for some meat. Fel departs, and Mukoda starts plucking weeds. Soon after, Mukoda finishes his mission early and prepares dinner for him and Fel. Fel returns with a dead rockbird. Fel wants Mukoda to make him the teriyaki platter like last time, but Mukoda crafts up some spaghetti for them to eat. Fel adores the meal, while Mukoda's grateful that he can eat meals from the human world. After eating, Fel leads Mukoda to his stack of dead monster meat, and Mukoda uses his RPG skills to store them in a safe place. Mukoda and Fel return to the Adventurers Guild to hand in the herbs for the mission. The Adventurer Guild cashier is surprised that he brought more than he expected. Mukoda asks her where he can sell some dead monsters, and the lady points him toward the guild butcher. The butcher and Mukoda head to a secret location, and the butcher's bewildered by all the beasts' corpses. The butcher skins the orc meat upon Fel's request. At night, Mukoda ponders what to do with the orc meat. Mukoda makes 2 versions of pork piccata with the orc meat and adds some meat sauce they had left over with the spaghetti dish. Fel loves the food. Despite his hesitation about eating orc, Mukoda chomps away and winds up loving it. They return to the butcher, who has completed the skinning process of all the beasts Mukoda brought in. He hands Mukoda his change for the monster parts and says he took some cash away to pay for the dismantle fee. Mukoda earned 202 gold coins for the monsters he sold. The butcher lectures Mukoda on monster parts and what attributes they can grant him. He hands Mukoda some demonic stones and says they contain magical powers. Mukoda plans to refer to Fel as a great wolf to people to avoid having them stare at them. The two leave the border to continue exploring. Midway through their outing, they set up camp. Mukoda plans to make a larger feast for them since Fel helped him secure a lot of money.
雨
まだか、早く食わせろ。
Mukoda makes his meals from his universe, and Fel's satisfied with the taste.
なんと柔らかい肉なのだ。
After chatting about their differing world customs, they finish eating. Fel feels his dish today has given him immense strength. He might be capable of defeating an ancient dragon now. Fel plans to hunt for more monsters and places a powerful protective barrier on Mukoda while he's away. He promises this one's capable of defending him against a dragon's breath. Mukoda builds himself a futon to rest for the night. Meanwhile, Fel goes on a killing spree and is impressed by his enhanced feats. In the morning, Mukoda's surprised by the high-level monster Fel murdered. Fel informs him that some of these monsters would have taken a long time to beat, but his food helped him defeat them in one hit. The episode concludes with Mukoda vowing not to feed Fel anything like that ever again.